and welcome to the Gone Traveling podcast. We are looking at the BKT EuroCup, the 25-26 season. This is episode 25. We are looking at the quarterfinals. We have a final four, we have a semifinals. And to break it down with me, as always, from Italy is Marco Munno, communication specialist and collaborator with La Giornata Tipo. Marco, and then there was four. How you doing?
Well, it's fine. It's fine, and also it was a really an interesting round. So four
Yeah,
games, four thrilling games.
a
That's what
total
you.
of 9 points decided the four quarterfinal games. 9 points total. Absolutely thrilling. So the four teams that make it through, I forgot to introduce myself. David Hein, Hein News, taking the charge. Substack. The four semifinals: Borg, JL Bourg-en-Bresse, Turk Telekom Ankara. They will face off in the semifinals, and then you have Besiktas gain Istanbul against Bahcesehir College Istanbul, the Turkish Istanbul Derby, and yeah, uh, just thrilling all around. Three Turkish teams and Borg. Um, this is the first time that we've had three teams from one country since the first edition of this competition back in 2002-03 when Valencia won it, and along with Estudiantes Juventud in the final four semifinals, and Kirk Novo Mesto. We've had at least one Turkish team in the final four in the semifinals for now 5 straight seasons. And yeah, none of these semifinalists are really new. You know, Bachesehir, 2 straight semifinals. Borg, second time in the semifinals in the last 3 seasons. They of course lost in 2004 final to Paris. Besiktas, now 2 semifinals in the last 3 years. They lost to Borg in the semifinals back in 2004. And then Turk Telekom, second semifinal in 4 years. Of course, they lost in the finals to Gran Canaria back in 2023. So none of these are really, let's call it, new faces. And so they've all been there. So that makes it all that much more thrilling. Let's go through the day. Let's go through the quarterfinals as they happened. So we'll start with the big game, Bahcesehir and Cluj. Um, Tyler Kavanaugh, the hero. I'll just let you roll, see what you want to say, and then I'll jump in afterwards, and we can talk about it some more.
Well, we thought that Cluj can be tricky to match up,
Yeah.
but I don't think anybody thought that it would be so tricky for Bachesehir, and also because Cluj score only 72 points, that is kind of less than their average, and also Fat Russell started to score really late into the game, like into the end of the second quarter, so they had to strengthen in defense, and they were able to also to recover from the first time that Bachesehir tried to um, go into a double figure advantage into the second quarter, and so Cluj was really always there, and I think, and also they were able to go up and to let Bashir to try to chase them, and being the favorite and trying to chase the other team into the last times is really so hard, where when you got that pressure that Bashir has from the beginning of the competition. And I think there is also an important play from Malachi Flynn that really stepped up and was able to overturn the advantage into the fourth quarter. And then when you wait him also to finish the job, it was Kavanaugh, and I think it was unexpected, at least from a general standpoint. But into the when he scored the triple, that really was kind of the clutch triple. He was perfectly there. There was kind of 5 men out, so
And the three
when
pointer and the three pointers with 24 seconds left, and they were down by one, and they were then up by two. So I mean, it was a massive moment with 24 seconds, and so I wanted to throw that in for people who might not have seen it.
yes, and thing is that Bachesehir was really playing like okay, let's see where the defense will make a mistake with really 5 men out, and it comes the double team on Flynn, and the Turkish team was really able to punish that, trusting to maybe the less common weapon in their arsenal. So I think they were able to trust to the right teammate, and Kavanaugh was really, the guy that you cannot expect, but that really shows how deep can be Bachesehir roster.
Kavanaugh, I mean, Kavanaugh's been strong all year. He's had his moments where he's been the main leader of the team. The Nigel Caesar had the chance to tie the game with two free throws with 2.9 seconds. Made just one of them, and then Kavanaugh finished it off with the final three free throws with 2.4 seconds left. This was you think about the fact that Bachesehir out grabbed 50 rebounds, 21 offensive rebounds. And really quick checking it. And that led to 19-6 advantage on second chance points. 19-6 advantage on second chance points in a game that was only decided by 3 points and only had 75 points. You're talking. Yeah, I didn't want to know what 20% of 19%. What 19 is 20% of 75. Don't matter. But it was a lot. Kavanaugh really, didn't do too much before. Only ended with 10 points. The 5 points in the finals, 24 seconds. Trevion Williams, beast, 11 and 16. Fats Russell, 23. You mentioned a little bit lower than Cluj's average. This includes the 72. And they finished the season 95.4 points per game. So you're talking, 25 points lower than their average to go into this game. And that was the thing that we said, it was like if Bachesehir is able to play their game, keep it a little bit, keep Cluj under control, they're going to have a legit shot to do it. And they did, and now they get to the semifinals back again, even though, they looked shaky over the course of the season. Had a couple of bad stretches, and but now they're really just. Well, I guess they're now 4 victories away from the EuroLeague, which is what the club has been dreaming about really the last 2 years. Let's move to the second game on Tuesday night, and that was Borg against Cedevita. Cedevita, in my eyes, was an underdog, and I think that Borg really played well to keep it as it was, and really advance to the next round. And it was a really Borg seemed like it was in control. It was 11-point lead with about 8 minutes left, 7-8 minutes left, and it looked like it was decided. But and also Cedevita couldn't hit anything. They couldn't hit anything from long range, and then they started to kind of hit a couple of threes. Nikolic really did a good job bringing them back into the game. They ended up shooting only 25%, but from 3-point range. But Nikolic, had a chance to tie it, and with 31 seconds, but he missed a free throw. This is a guy who's shooting 91% on the season, and he goes 1 of 2, missing an opportunity to tie the game with 31 seconds left. William McDowell White, who he's been kind of a quiet guy all season. We really haven't. We've talked about so many guys on that team, and really McDowell White hasn't been one of them. Averaged seven, almost 8 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, three at the low, almost 4 assists in game. But we didn't talk about him really at all, and comes up with this massive 3-point play. Um, and to yeah, I mean so that made it a 3-point play. That was a 4-point lead. And that was with 15 seconds left. So that basically decided the game. McDonald White, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. You know, really a fantastic game. Makoka, he was great. Adam Makoka, 5 threes, hit his first 5 threes, ended with 20 points. Botchkatch with 16 points. And they advanced. Thomas Kennedy with 17 and 8, and the rest of the way it wasn't enough. Cedevita, you know, just they couldn't hit enough threes down the stretch or over the course of the game. And Borg just got their baskets when they needed them. So your thoughts on Borg, Cedevita, which was a game we hope would be a good one, and was definitely a good one. 70, 83, 79.
Yes, I think when Cedevita puts themselves in front after really at the end of the game after Burger really lost all his advantage. I think Berg show really a lot of art because there are typical the situation in which you think you've kind of lost also because the all the you get the pressure and also Cedevita was really on a roll. I think 31 seconds at the end of the game and Cedevita was up after being down 10 and you think you just lost your advantage. But yeah, Burgo as really
Well,
as
no, no,
adults.
they never ended up losing. They never ended up falling behind. It was 11-point lead and it was down to one with the free throw by Nikolic.
Yeah,
But
oh yeah, okay, okay,
yeah,
it was
that's okay. That's okay.
uh, okay.
It's early still,
And yeah,
but
the
the
thing is
momentum had
that
clearly shifted focus.
yeah, when you come at the end, you really uh don't know if you will be able to basically win again because you're kind of tied. And I think that they were a bit of a lacking because into the pick and roll that led to the 3-point play. It was Gibson who was really falling after the um, into the defense. But I think you just helped yourself trusting, for instance, to a guy that doesn't really stand up into basically the whole season. And I think you would just give the ball to him also. So you really show that you can trust him. I mean, for instance, you got two guys that was 16 points, they scored 61, 16 and 20. And also, for instance, you got McGee that from the beginning of the season was the guy and he said you were able to trust to a guy coming from the bench, and I think you need really an extra effort from somebody to make it to the next level, and it really was show into this game. McGee scored only 9 points and he had one assist, so he's kind of always the focus of the attack, and instead Berg was really able to go anyway and win the game, even if his main focus on the offense was not really into his best game of of the season. And I think that really is their statement. So they can really not just have their marvelous defense that was the key of the team, but they can really have also other people that can step up and into a semifinal that really sees like three three teams from Turkey and that always thinking about being the one that can go to the EuroLeague into the last season. And coming and in a EuroLeague which the other two French team, one is really struggling and the other one is really going up and down. And I think you can think yourself by being, and also the other one is really struggling into these last 2 months. You can really think you can earn your place. I think it's a great sensation, and also it's a thought that they could never have, for instance, at the beginning of the season. But then here we are. So I think it's interesting also only watching to the French team.
Yep. Let's move on to the action. Time recording last night, we had Besiktas against Trento. The indomitable force at home, Besiktas against the small little engine that could, the shockers that was Trento, and with zero pressure, and they almost did it. They almost did it. So and Besiktas kind of left the door open. It was Trento was really around the whole time, and actually took the lead. A fantastic game by DJ Stewart, ended with 29 points. And he puts them up with 84 seconds left by two. And Connor Morgan makes the two free throws, but then Jonah Matthews and Morgan both split two free throws at the 25 and 16 second mark, and leave the door open to Jordan Bae to send the game to overtime. 1.8 seconds left. Bae is a guy that, I'd been thinking all season, he's actually been fantastic from the free throw line. I'm looking it up right now, what he ended up shooting for the season. I'm gonna bet it's definitely in the 70s. It might even be high 70s. Where is he at? Wow, 83.5%. 83.5%. That's for a big guy. And that's 79 free throws over 79 free throws over 19 games. So that's a pretty decent amount. 80. So would I have been shocked if he had made both? Not at all, because he's been so great all season. And he only makes one of the first. He made the first and then misses the second. Cizic gets the rebound, and the game over. Heartbreak for Trento. Um, mentioned Stewart, Jonah Matthews, fantastic 23 points. Anthony Brown, 16.7 rebounds. The guy we've been talking about all year for Trento was Devontae Jones, and he could never get going. Watching him, it kind of looked like he was kind of feeling beat up. I think it looked like he was maybe kind of, you know, feeling some aches and pains. They did not let him do anything. He ended with 4 points, only took two shots, and then two of four free throws, 2 points, two rebounds, two assists, two turnovers, six fouls drawn. But the 4 points, as good as Stewart was, and Battle was fantastic too. They really, they both stepped up in the absence of Jones's production. And also, we've been talking about how, Jones has been, in my eyes, the clear MVP, and coach of the year at Cancelleri. And to think that you don't have Jones doing anything, basically. You only ended up with two assists. So he was, basically a non-factor, especially offensively. And to still be in a game against a powerhouse at home, like Besiktas, an amazing performance. I totally understand that that the team, coaching staff, fans are, massively disappointed. They should be massively proud of what they did this year. That's not gonna come for a while. But definitely you tip your hat to Trento. Besiktas survive. They get through the one and done, the knockout, single knockout games. And now they, have to be beaten twice over 3 games, which is going to be tough. Your thoughts on Besiktas surviving, no other way around it, surviving a massive performance by Trento.
Yes, and I think the this game really solidified the status of Cancellieri as the coach of the year. I think they were really close to put an upset, and for the whole game, like Besiktas was trying to put the gas and just go away to avoid to be into a close finish in which you don't really know how it will end. And also their plan was really easy about Trento, because and we always said like the whole team depends on what Jones will do, and Jones will Jones be able to carry all the guys and all the young guys along. And Besiktas was really trying to basically avoid him to be a factor. It was really they were really getting pressure with their defense, and just to avoid him to be on the game. And I think when you're in those situations in which you are like the less favorite team, and you got really less resources, you want really your main guy to lead to lead you uh, to the other round, or at least to lead you through the game. Instead, Trento was really saying like, okay, we don't have Jones, so we will go to the other guys. And uh, Trento uses 9 players into the game, and all the 9 players went to score. So and also they really a lot of times put kind of Jones on a corner, and let the other guy to play kind of four against four. And they had Stewart that was really effective into the one-on-one situation, and they also had good stretches from Battle. And I think they really didn't see the two guys playing well together, but always have one being great and the other one have a letdown. Instead they were able to stay there and also to resist, like when they got the double figure disadvantage. And it just come at the end to a battle of free throws, and also who was able to miss less free throw, because there were a lot of 1 out of 2 also from the Besiktas side when you got Morgan, for instance. And I think everybody was really expecting Besiktas to be into the semifinals, but not this way. So if you look at the result now, you can say, okay, when you got that those guys, when you got Zizic, that maybe is another strong candidate from the MVP at the end of the season. You really deserve to be there, but it was really not easy, and it just come to the last moment to who was really colder on the free throw line.
I forgot to mention, and I think one guy, if there's one possession really where Trento would like to have back, it was Matas Jogela's three-pointer with 17 seconds left. They were only down by 1 point, and he took a long three-pointer with, I want to say, like 12, 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Just no offensive flow or working anything to get a decent shot. And they were only down by 1 point. And that just seemed like such a blow that they couldn't come up with a better solution for that possession. Down by 1 with 25 seconds left. And that was after a timeout. Go back and watch that if if you're interested, because for me that was backbreaking. You got to come up with something better than that on a final possession, likely a final possession. You have to only 25 seconds left. You're down by 1 only. You basically have the shot clock. You can kind of, uh, run it down for yourself. And I don't know, with 8 seconds left, go to the basket, whatever. And Yogela comes up with that shot. I just was amazed And I think that's the possession that everybody in Trento and that organization really is wondering, oh shoot, man, I wish we had that one back, that we could have done something a little bit more productive. You get a miss on a layup, you have your big guys down low, whatever. All right, so let's move on to the other one. Another absolute thriller. Um, Jerusalem, it wasn't at home. It was in Serbia. Turk Telekom comes there, takes down Jerusalem 91-90. The the moment that changed the game for me was when Harper fouled out with 4:47 left in the game. He had 29 points. He did have 9 turnovers, but he had 29 points. He was still doing his things. And he fouled out with the team up by 7 points. And basically Cassius Winston had also fouled out. In the end, you had Wiley fouling out. You also had Anthony Lamb foul out, but and Winston and Harper fouling out up by 7 at that point. Jalen Smith kind of took over and pushed the team ahead. And and then you had another situation was Jordan Usher, 75% free throw shooter. The team was down by 1, 12 seconds left, and it was on a 3-pointer. He missed the first, makes the second, misses the third, so it was a tie game with 12 seconds left, but there was a violation on the final free throw lane. He makes the do-over. It's a 1-point game. And yeah, Roy Huber, who would expect it, out of nowhere, hits a 3-pointer with 3.5 seconds left. And Jerusalem, yeah, we're gonna do it. And then Kyle Allman breaks the heart. It just, hits a massive 3-pointer, 1.8 seconds left, and gets it done. Allman 25 points, 8 assists, Smith 25 points, 6 assists. The absolute fantastic dynamic duo from Turk Telekom. And Allman, 25 points, 11 of 12 on the free throw line, 8 fouls drawn, 8 assists. Just a massive game. Jalen Smith, of course, as well. Trifunovic, four 3-pointers. The team shot 42%. Actually, the team, Turk Telecom, actually shot better from the outside than they did on 2-pointers, 42% to 41%. Your thoughts on Jerusalem? Jerusalem, okay, what in my eyes, really, like I said, Wiley with 16 and 10, but he was fouled out. And you just didn't have the offensive production, the offensive creativity. Once both of those guys, Winston and then Harper, fouled out. So your thoughts?
Well, I think it um, really, if you look at their season, the end comes to disappointment, and it seems like the photo of the second part, that it was like, okay, Jerusalem was really starting to dominate and to be firmly at the first uh, at the first place of their group. But then after, at the end, they had some stops, they had some problems, and uh, and they was really, going into the eighth finals or the quarterfinals, not really with the best of the uh, with the best path available into the last games. And that was what happened there, because they were up, and I think Jared Albert was really in command of the operation with all Jerusalem. And then at the end, they really suffered the fact that Turk Telekom didn't give up, and starting to you know uh, find things from a lot of resources. And I think when Uber was scoring, you didn't expect him to be the guy. And but you don't really think Jerusalem was really able to avoid the Turk Telecom, at least a solid shot. And I think what happened with the Alma with the Ulman triple is that really they had a strange defense, because they went to go straight to to the guy that was really having the ball in his hand after the inbound, but they kind of forgot or was not really ready to rotate to Allman. That was the guy that inbounds the ball. So he was really the lane, the passing lane was not really easy open, but there is nobody to on the guy that was really, making the inbound play. And I think it really sums the fact that in an image, kind of Jerusalem was really on the really strong on the beginning, and after they left something behind, because yeah, really they had two guys on the after the inbound, but on the pass after that, they was really leaving the easiest guy to reach from the from the passing side kind of open. So it seems like an image to their season, and also an image to the game. So kind of they being strong, and after leaving something on the table. And Turk Telekom was really maybe the best team to take profit of that. Also, Cedevita was really close when you were thinking about the teams that are really close to the others. So you can think Cedevita close to Bourg, and Turk Telecom that can really put up something, because they got a lot of uh, mm, experienced people, and they were really showing a lot of they were really showing defense through the competition. Yeah, they had some stops into the regular season, but looking at the roster and looking also at the eight finals, they you can think that they can be able to put up something like that. But I think Jerusalem just really was wasting their advantage against the less favorable opponent to do that, and that's what happened.
All right. That's the wrap up of the quarterfinals. So the semifinals, the schedule is March 31st, which is the Tuesday. Hang on a second. Let me grab the calendar here so I have it. March 31st, which is the Tuesday, and then April 3rd, which is the following Friday, and then April 8th, which is the Wednesday, are the three dates scheduled for the best of three semifinals. So we could know both teams in the finals by next Friday, not next Friday, but April 3rd. Or we might have to wait until April 8th, Wednesday, April 8th. So the reason I want to say this is that next week we will have a show, and we're not going to talk about the semifinals now. We're going to wait and talk about the semifinals next week. So you will have a show next week, and we're going to break down the two semifinals matchups. So with that, let's close this and let everybody continue on with the rest of their day. Obviously, we totally appreciate everybody listening to the show and really following along with a great season all year. Marco, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you on all of the medias, etc.
Yes, you can find me on any social media, but mostly on X as Marco E. Munno, Munno.
And I am at Hein News on Twitter, HEINNEWS. Of course, there's the Substack. Yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. We will talk to you next week when we have a preview of the finals.